We hear it all the time, don't we? This message about individuality.
Oh, constantly. Be unique, stand out, embrace your differences.
Right. Embrace what makes you, well, you. But let's be honest for a second.
Mm-hmm.
When you actually look at how it feels day to day, that ideal, it often clashes with something else.
A much tougher reality.
Yeah. Because the very things that set you apart, the ways your inner world doesn't quite line up with what's right in front of you.
That can be incredibly lonely.
It can be terrifying, actually,
Yeah.
to look around and think, here I am again, stuck in this peculiar minority that just feels painful.
And that tension, that feeling, that's what we're diving into today.
Okay.
This isn't just about feeling a bit quirky or misunderstood sometimes.
Right.
It's about when those differences feel less like things to celebrate and more like failures, bewildering ones.
Yeah, like something's wrong with you.
Exactly. So our goal here, looking at the material we've gathered, is to really unpack that feeling, that sense of being painfully different.
And find some tools.
Find some powerful ways to think about it differently, to sort of ease that isolation by reframing it, not as failure, but as something understandable.
Okay, so let's picture that moment. Because it's so specific, isn't it?
It really is.
You're somewhere at the office, maybe a family thing, scrolling through social media, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you just get this overwhelming sense of being out of sync. Completely.
Like everyone else got the memo and yours got lost in the mail.
Totally. Or they're all speaking this language fluently and you're guessing at the words.
Or their emotional clock is just set totally differently to yours.
Right. And the sources we looked at, they paint this picture so vividly, don't they?
Yeah.
These specific disconnects.
They really do. Imagine being in a group and everyone's kind of energized by gossip or critique.
Yeah, picking people apart seems to be the main event.
But inside you feel this pull towards being generous, towards forgiveness maybe. You just can't get on board with the judgment game.
It feels wrong somehow. Or maybe it's simpler. You're just somewhere casual. Everyone seems fine, relaxed, making small talk easily.
Yeah, gliding through it.
But inside, you're just stuck in this low hum of melancholy. Or you're self-conscious.
Or just anxious, apprehensive about things others seem to just brush off. You can't let go of it.
No, it sticks. And it goes deeper, too, this mismatch.
Absolutely. You see people around you, maybe colleagues or friends, and they just project this confidence.
Like they know their worth. They just put themselves out there.
Effortlessly, it seems. But you're carrying this internal suspicion about yourself.
Like you don't quite trust yourself. Or maybe even feel ashamed of how your mind works sometimes.
Yeah, shame you can't even really put into words easily.
And relationships? That can be a big one. You see others, settled.
Contented, they found their person, their home.
And you're still searching. Still kind of adrift, looking for that feeling of really belonging somewhere.
That sense of home. It's elusive.
Even the big stuff, like existential worries.
Right. Everyone's fired up about the latest crisis or, the future of the planet, passionately engaged.
And maybe you care, abstractly, but right now, you feel weirdly cold about that specific thing.
Almost indifferent to that particular wave of urgency everyone else is writing.
Yeah, you're preoccupied by something else, maybe quieter, deeper inside. And that difference feels really stark.
It does. And when you look at all these examples together,
Or these contrasts.
it's not just that you're different. The common thread is this feeling that the difference itself is the problem.
That it's proof you're somehow broken, flawed.
Exactly. It's that feeling that these aren't just characteristics. They are, as we said, bewildering failures.
And that's the feeling that really isolates you.
Precisely. That's the internal verdict that locks you in. You go from feeling different to fearing you're fundamentally, maybe hopelessly, alone in how you see things.
And that is, frankly, a terrifying place to be mentally.
It truly is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that feeling is real. It's powerful. But now we need to build a way out, right?
Yes. Let's challenge the foundation of that feeling.
Which is?
The premise of the isolation itself. The moment you conclude, I'm alone in this, you're making a huge leap, a massive assumption about reality.
You mean assuming we even know what everyone else is really like?
Exactly. What if that picture you have of everyone else is just wrong, or at least incomplete? What if it's based on faulty data?
Okay, faulty data. How so?
This is where the source material gives us this really powerful cognitive tool, a reframe.
Go on.
The reason we feel so alone often is because we are getting the statistics disastrously wrong.
The statistics of humanity. We're bad at math.
In this context, yes. Very bad. Think about it. We look at our immediate world.
Okay, my office, my family, my friend group.
Right. How many people is that really?
Right.
4, 8, 12, maybe if you're very social, 80 people you see regularly.
Yeah, something like that.
And we take that tiny sample size, minuscule, and we use it to draw conclusions about, nearly 8 billion people on the planet.
Huh. When you put it like that.
It's absurd, isn't it? It's like trying to understand the entire ocean by looking at one single drop of rain that landed on your windowsill.
Wow. Okay. That image really lands. 80 people is nothing, statistically.
It's a flicker, a statistical blip.
So when I decide my melancholy or my specific anxiety is a personal failure because nobody in my immediate 80 seems to share it.
You're internalizing that statistical error. You're concluding you're broken based on an incredibly limited and probably quite curated data set.
The data set of my immediate surroundings, which might not be representative at all.
Not even close, potentially. So, of course, isolation feels like the logical outcome of that flawed calculation.
It was based on bad math.
Profoundly bad math. A huge error in scale. So if you're feeling that indifference or that self-consciousness or that deep melancholy, it might be totally true that none of the 80 people you had coffee with last month feel it exactly like you do right now.
Okay.
But the mathematical reality, the sheer scale of humanity is actually incredibly hopeful.
How so?
Because out of the billions you haven't met, there are so many potential friends left. So many minds tuned to your exact frequency. You just haven't found them yet.
The odds are actually good, statistically speaking.
Overwhelmingly good.
And maybe some are closer than we think, even the people we already know.
That's another key point from the sources, absolutely. Your existing friends, your colleagues, they might be wrestling with very similar feelings. That quiet melancholy, that suspicion of themselves.
But we just haven't talked about it.
We haven't found the right words, maybe. Or the safe space, the bridge between your inner world and theirs hasn't been built yet. Or maybe they haven't felt safe enough to cross it.
Okay. Or maybe they just don't feel it yet.
Exactly. That's what the sources call the patience of timing.
The patience of timing. I like that.
Yeah. Maybe they will feel what you feel. Maybe they'll understand that specific perspective one day.
They just haven't had the right experience.
Yeah.
The heartbreak or the success or whatever it is that shifts your view.
Precisely. They haven't encountered the trigger that unlocks that particular understanding. So your difference, it might not be this permanent, fundamental gap between you and everyone else.
It could just be timing. You're maybe a bit ahead on that particular feeling or insight.
You could be ahead of the curve, possessing a viewpoint others will arrive at, but later.
That completely reframes it. It's not a failure. It's temporary. Maybe even an advantage in a way.
It could be. Which leads us to this quite bold philosophical idea in the material.
Which is?
That maybe it's perfectly okay to belong to a minority. In fact, maybe it's more than okay.
More than okay.
Yeah. The sources suggest that historically, these peculiar minorities, they've often included some of the most accomplished, insightful, visionary people.
So being in the minority isn't necessarily a bad sign.
It might even be a sign of something else. Which brings us to this concept. Let's call it the complexity tax.
The complexity tax. Okay, explain that. Tax sounds negative.
Well, yes and no. Think of it like this. If you have a certain complexity of mind, meaning you see nuance, you resist easy answers, you can hold conflicting ideas, you feel things deeply.
Right.
That very complexity might mean that feeling isolated to some degree is the necessary price you pay.
A price for complexity. Why a price? Shouldn't complexity be like an asset?
It is an asset, but it's a price in the sense that complexity, by its nature, struggles to fit neatly into simplicity.
Oh.
If you think deeply, if you question things, if you feel ambivalence, you are almost by definition going to feel out of step with a majority that often prefers quick, simple, unified narratives.
Right. The mainstream often wants things black and white.
And if your mind sees shades of gray, you won't fit smoothly. The price isn't a penalty for being flawed. It's the inherent discomfort of not quite merging with the collective streamlined story.
So that feeling of not belonging isn't proof I'm broken.
It might be the unavoidable side effect of having a mind sophisticated enough to reject the easy answers, the lowest common denominator.
Wow. Okay. That lands differently.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
It shifts the perspective entirely, doesn't it? Your difference isn't a deficit. It's a non-negotiable part of your depth.
Okay, so accepting this complexity tax, we still need connection, right? We're still human. How do we bridge that gap if we accept we might be in a minority?
This is where the sources get really practical and I think quite beautiful.
Good. I need practical.
The answer they point to is art.
Art, like paintings and music.
Yes. Books, music, films, paintings. Art exists in many ways for this exact reason.
The bridge gaps.
Precisely. It's the mechanism. It's how one peculiar minority, the artist, speaks across time, across space, to find another peculiar minority, you, the audience.
So when I read a book or hear a song and think, yes, that's exactly it.
That's the connection happening. That statistical error we talked about, it just evaporates in that moment.
It's no longer just the 80 people in my town.
No, it's you and a mind from 50 years ago or 500 years ago or from halfway across the world, perfectly mirroring the unique shape of your specific feeling, your melancholy, your anxiety, your strange joy.
You find your people, just not necessarily next door.
Exactly. Which leads to this lovely image from the sources. The bookshop.
Okay.
Think about bookshops or libraries. They're presented as almost ideal places for the lonely soul.
Why?
Because think about why those books are there. Almost every single one was written because the author couldn't find anyone right then, right there to talk to about that specific, complex, maybe agonizing idea or feeling.
So the author was lonely too.
Often, yes. They felt that same disconnect. So they wrote the book to find their companions across time and space.
Wow. So a bookshop is like a giant silent meeting room for lonely people connecting across generations.
You could absolutely see it that way. A collection of archived minority reports waiting for someone else in that minority to find them. The melancholy soul finds the melancholy author's book and bam, connection. Proof you're not alone, just rare.
Rare, not broken.
Exactly. And the final piece of reassurance is this. Those people who would understand you.
Yeah.
They might not be centuries away or only in books. They might actually be nearby.
Really? Even after the bad statistics?
Well, remember, the bad statistics came from only looking at your immediate 80 people. Once you widen the lens, even just to your town, your wider community,
The odds get better again.
much better. People who would deeply get you might be right there, maybe feeling just as isolated, waiting to be found. You just need to keep your eyes and your heart open. Keep looking. Keep carefully sharing bits of yourself.
So, okay. We started with a really sharp pain of feeling different, out of sync.
Those vivid contrasts.
Then we saw how maybe that feeling comes from, basically, bad math, a statistical error about who everyone is.
Right. Judging the ocean by the puddle.
And maybe, just maybe, that difference isn't a failure, but the cost of having a complex mind, the complexity tax.
A price paid for depth.
And the bridge.
Yeah.
The bridge is often art, and the hope that our people are out there, maybe even close by.
That captures the journey, yes.
So we leave you with this thought to maybe mull over.
Yeah, something to carry with you. If the complexity you feel, the depth you possess requires this period of isolation sometimes, this feeling of being in a minority.
If that's the cost.
What kind of unique perspective, what powerful insights, or maybe what really profound connections is that very solitude preparing you for? What might you eventually bring to the world because of it, not in spite of it?